This isn't the first time you've had to do this. Just gotta get auto, then split, cut and run. This isn't the same as laying low after a job. Tensions are worsening. Being arrested is nothing compared to being caught in the crossfire. Grudges and cold conflicts are turning hot. You never laid down roots anyways. This isn't the first time you've had to do this, and if you do it right, it looks a lot like running away. But some wars are fought in the dark. Welcome to Bloodwine. I hope you're ready. I have 3 clipboards.
Oh,
Three.
believe
Oh,
me,
boy.
Will, I'm
Oh,
ready.
goodness.
I broke out the big cups for this.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Marcos, are you
Four.
prepared for my dungeonry, dragonry, and non-copyright third-party
Non-binary?
productry?
I am so ready, Will.
Aye, Captain.
In that case, why don't we do not a long recap, semi-long recap, like not just a short recap, but it's the whole campaign, and also what just happened. What do you remember that led you to this point?
Oh boy, that's me. What
Start.
a loaded question.
Where did we start again?
Well, we started. I believe,
It all started when we took a job at the Rookery to deliver a box.
That's true. That's kind of more or less what happened.
And then from there, they asked us, "Hey, do you want to be Rookers?" And we're like, "That seems
No.
pretty cool. Maybe
Oh.
we'll consider it. There's some regularity in our pay, and it would be nice."
Yeah.
So we went off to go blow some ships up
Mhm.
while we thought about it, and then we came back with all right, let's do this.
Yeah. Blowing up them ships
selling,
was fun.
The selling point was the port pass.
The port pass
Yes.
was the selling point.
Yes.
Because
We have
then-
used that in every single port we have ever gone to, ever.
We will be dearly missed.
The single most useful item in the entire campaign.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like by far.
Individually, why are each of your characters leaving? Or do any of your particular characters not really care? You come with the ship.
Sun.
Don't read into that.
Ew. So Sun is
Make a
leaving.
neuroblend of that.
Yeah, Sun is leaving. I think with the most sort of I don't know. He's the most conflicted because on the one hand, he never really liked the working for the Rookery particularly. He was always more interested in making sure his friends didn't die and blowing people up because he liked doing that. But also, a war is a very good place to use his particular talents, and having the Rookery be like a constant source of employment with his side gig. That sounds like a lot of fun, but I think ultimately he doesn't want to be stuck on a tiny island in the middle of a war zone, and he doesn't particularly like the military, and he'd rather be independent. That's why he's leaving. He doesn't want to get trapped.
Yeah, I think Jane just kind of goes where the ship goes where the crew goes. Jane doesn't have any life direction other than to just be able to do whatever she wants to do at any given moment. Which sometimes it's stealing shit, and sometimes it's smuggling drugs, But whatever it happens to be that day, whatever the flavor of the week is.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't particularly care about working for the Rookery. It was just, a stable source of income plus the port pass.
Port pass is like a
Convenient to
smuggler's
go.
wet dream.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, easy to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
It's true. And that's a lot of what smuggling is, I've found.
Mm-hmm.
leaves Crowquill.
Yeah, so Crowquill was actually planning on leaving the crew before this all went down. Sort of the way that I've been trying to roleplay Crowquill this entire time is Crowquill is pursuant in some sense of safety in her life. So growing up, she basically had a shit life, and then she kept worrying about her dad finding her after she had ran away and everything like that, and basically lived until in the forest until finally found out that he was dead, reported dead in the mail or in the newspapers and stuff like that. And then, yeah, just she decided that, okay, maybe it's time to be a little bit safer, and she went to town and started pursuing, like, an actual life that doesn't involve living in a forest, because you can't live in a forest your entire life, especially when you're blind and you have no carpentry skills to make shelter or anything like that. And she found a sense of safety with the crew for a while, until there was a little bit more heat. We've gradually gotten a lot of heat on us. And her reason for choosing the Rookery was it's a safe source of income. We just ferry shit across. It's fine. It's whatever. Maybe we need to defend ourselves while we do it, but who cares? We can do that. But yeah, we started to get a little bit more stuff from the kingdoms.
Fair to say.
I
Yeah.
can't quite place it. Maybe it's when we ink bombed an empress. Maybe it's when we stole from an entire armory. I can't say when it was specifically.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of heat on us. Maybe it was around the fourth time we ran a blockade. Who knows? Who knows? Who's to say?
Okay. That's fair. Yeah.
And so Crowquill, pursuant in, again, some semblance of safety and stability in her life, decided to take a job with the Rookery to go to the island. But that place is no longer safe nor secure. So, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yep, just back in the shit again.
Yep, back in the shit until I can find another opportunity. I gotta get Anne to safety because, like, dragged her into this fucked up mess. So, gotta get her out. That's priority number one, and then maybe I find some safety in my life living in the backwoods of, like, some podunk village in, like, the Freedlands. Who knows? Ooh, he got the swift dab.
I hit the reflex. I hit
Yeah.
the reflex on that sneeze. It was gonna be a loud one. And I could have muffled it, but sometimes you gotta let it be. You gotta let it flow. You gotta let it be
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah, I think you're right about these words that you say to me.
So, you guys are getting back to Boxworks Island pretty late. It's not night, but it's like, right around dinner time. The goal was to get Otto and get out. However, the morning sun is still there, awaiting whatever progress report. People seem to be going, oh shit, it's the Bilgewater coming back. What's the plan?
Cut and run. I mean, the plan is to make Doc probably warn people on the island that everything's about to go to hell.
Well, I suppose they already know.
And
Logically.
I'm gonna go up to my room and grab my stuff. As few as it is, I did unpack a little bit.
Yeah,
I gotta
I'm
get
not
my
even
ship
gonna-
in a bottle.
I'm not even gonna. Oh yeah, you're shipping a bottle. I'm not even gonna bother disarming the landmines. Someone else might want to use that hammock.
The best thing about those landmines, we have never seen a creature on this island. Sun set them up, and they've never been needed.
No, no. Well, it's landmine you don't need. That's the one that's best. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm gonna go
See.
grab Otto and
All right, you guys come to shore and you tell them that there's some heat coming. As you start to get your stuff ready, everybody else is sort of, getting ready to have to cut and run if need be. The Rookery is supposed to be able to defend itself against the occasional attack in peacetime. There's pirates and monsters and the occasional hostile government places, but it's not a military organization. This is going to be a tough thing to do, and if they lose the island, it's better to just set sail and keep what they have. They start the process of getting ready to destroy any sensitive documents that they need to. Things are placed in a pile outside the boxworks and outside the mail, like the mail room, and they're lit aflame in a controlled burn. People are sitting there and watching them and making sure they go down.
well, it was fun while it's lasted. Oh, Rooker, can you help me carry Otto?
Of course. Make your way over. Auto's secure, and as all of your things are there on the deck getting ready to leave, the captain of the bird team is rallying all of the commanders with a really stunned look on his face, including the commanders of the Morning Sun.
Okay.
Ah, shit. Alright, I'm gonna go talk to the commanders. Hey, Rooker, did you want any of the pots and pans out of my place? And just, let me know what you want. It's fine.
The ones that are mine. None of them are mine. Get some good shit.
No, Rooker, can you go and pack up my pots and pans, please?
Sure, yes. Makes his way off on his own.
Thank you. Okay.
So, Otto, did you have a fun time on the island?
I detected 37 potential threats.
Well, how many of them are still potential threats?
Well, they've gone beyond my range, which means they'll be threats forever.
Oh, I love the way you look at the world. It's so practical.
I look at the world through a 30-centimeter lens.
Yeah. Oh shit. And I'm looking up. I'm like big cool telescope. I'm thinking, yeah, they're gonna need it.
So the commanders are pulling people, they're pulling the captains and commanders aside. They go, hey, we just got word. Redwine is not going to comply. They know they can't get away with this, so they're gonna go full bore. They're sending ships in case things go wrong.
Oh, good. So, oh, good. So, we got, people from the north coming to fight, and we got people from the south coming to fight. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we should probably...
And these are the Redwine, separatists, the ones that actually want to, secede from the Empire?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that vote sealed it for them.
Yeah, I can't really blame them for that.
Ship battle. Cool.
This is gonna be interesting. Okay.
Your ship is kitted and ready to go. You can see some masts coming on the horizon from a couple of different directions.
Well,
Okay.
how many of those are on our side?
It's hard to tell.
All right. Well, I mean, we did call this island home for past few weeks. I mean, couldn't hurt killing a few imperialists on the way out. Now, could it?
Yeah. I mean,
We could go about our business, and perhaps we can cut and dry with the Rookery easily enough.
I think we prepare to escape on the far side of things if things go too far south. I don't want to
like that
sink
plan.
here, but against that, maybe.
Well, I mean, the apparatus hasn't had a proper showing in a while, and I mean, we do have some power behind our sails.
Unfortunately,
wind?
we have no room to tuna maneuver.
Well, that's
Uh,
true.
So you don't need to pull up the map for this. I'll have my own mechanic on my end for this, so it's just our screens for basically this whole session. The wind is going to the northeast in the area directly around the island. Think smaller in scope. There are people coming from the north-northeast, and there are people coming from the east-southeast. They're a ways off, though. You can't tell precisely, like, you can't tell if it's one ship or a couple ships, or if, like, it's one ship with a bunch of masts, or, like, a flotilla, or what. Which way are you heading?
I mean, Sun is heading downstairs to make sure the apparatus is ready to go, just in case.
And Crowquill's heading up to scout. Although, definitely telling Warbles, tight formation. Do not stray far from the ship.
All right, I think Jane, as the captain, has to decide what direction the ship itself is moving.
Yeah, Crowquill yells from the
Because
crow's nest.
I can
Remember,
show
I
you.
quit as your commander.
I'll show you this sporadically because it's supposed to be my own notes, but there's nothing really sensitive on it now. This is the island.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So you're kind of like in the north dock area. The wind is going northeast. There's ships to the north-northeast, north-northeast, and ships to the east-southeast. Kind of in a 45 or like a 90-degree angle from each other, kind of. Coming in
Oh,
towards the angle.
Southeast is going to be red wine. Northeast is going to be.
Yeah,
That's fine.
like, should we head south to confirm with Redwine that we're with them, or, like, what?
yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt.
They might just start firing at us. Like,
You guys need to clear space so that everybody can get out of the dock effectively. So you
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
pick a direction. Or you could
Okay.
just kind of list out of the dock, out into the bay a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're
Oh.
doing. I mean,
I think we should go south. I don't think we should go north. That is the wrong choice.
We need a bit more firepower if we're gonna go.
Yeah.
right.
We can at least
Um,
wave flags of friendship until they see us and hopefully don't fire at us.
So
Sure,
do you
sure.
guys spend your ship turn? Basically, the way I'll do it is like you guys get to do 2 turns at once. You do character turns and then ship turns. Imagine like it's just an additional set of actions that are entirely just ship stuff.
Yeah.
So like Sun can load the cannonballs and then run up and then shoot at someone on the docks, but like if you're really deep in the weeds of role playing, I'll have some restrictions. Like if you're hanging from the ceiling, I won't have you be like, "All right, switch. I'm just gonna switch the artillery and be right back to the middle of the mast."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
So-
Well,
Are you guys going to hover in the bay, or are you going to start going south, either towards or on the far side of the troops?
I mean, I say we go talk to the Redwine folk,
Yeah.
see what they're up to.
Definitely south.
The other thing is, I mean, are folks here evacuating the island, or are they staying and fighting?
It
think
seems
they're-
like they're going to try and stay here and fight if they can, but they're prepared not to hold the island, but to cede it if it gets too hot.
Oh, those poor bastards.
Remember,
All right.
you can always hide in the cavern. Okay, bye.
All right. We're heading out. We'll hold them off, I guess. Let's go talk to the Redwine folk. Let's, get an idea of how screwed this island is.
We really should have fortified that cavern.
I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't think that cavern's gonna be much good, fortified or not.
No, fair enough.
Best case scenario, you got yourself in a siege. Worst case scenario, they just crumble it on top of you.
So, are you guys? So the way I'm going to do it is someone has to take a turn to do like a battle report, basically. So
Alright.
I'm presuming for now that that's Crowquill, unless Crowquill's doing stuff and telling someone else to keep
If
an eye
if
out.
I say I'm doing stuff, then I'm not doing battle report. Other than that,
Okay.
battle report.
Yeah. And keep in mind, battle report is different from either of the options you have with Warbles. This is literally just like, where are the ships, where are we oriented, kind of thing. So currently you are off of like one side of the island. You've gone sort of like around the side towards where the sea cave is going to be. The other ships are kind of just like fanning out to spread around the island, but stay within sight of each other. They're just kind of like a glob. At this point, you can see that it's as you suspected. There's Westmarch ships and Redwine ships coming at the same time. The Redwine ships are slightly closer because they've been preparing for this. They're also distinct in color. Excuse me. They use the same insignia that they've been using, and some of them you actually recognize as ships that have been coming through here before. But instead of the like teal and white that they go with Westmarch, these are just like a wine red.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Red wine, keep red wine flag.
What?
Yep, okay.
Flag, should we put up the rookery flag?
No, we put up our flag.
Yeah, I mean, I think any captain worth his salt would recognize that we are not coming to attack him on account of that would be suicide.
Yeah, that wouldn't end well for us.
All right. You see the... Now that it's back to your turn, you see the rookery ships coming to the edge of sort of like your sea space. The wind shifts slightly. It doesn't shift as dramatically as it is at sea, because we're doing these turns a bit shorter. It's now going to the southeast. So like 90 degrees, and now it's kind of going towards the rookery ships a little.
Okay.
What's everybody doing for your turns? And where's the ship going?
Let's go straight towards the ships, the red one ships.
Yeah, I'm gonna start prepping Otto with a cable connected to the engine and to Otto.
All right. How many charges do you have left in the motor?
I legitimately have 6 left.
Banking them for the final session.
I really was. Like, we have so many.
All right. So I'm going to give you a speed in, like, for me is squares, but I'll give you, like, basically, like, it's a couple of leagues. It's like a couple of boat lengths. 3 is the normal range for cannons and maximum range weapons, then 2 and 1 for shorter range. With the sniper, of course, things get bigger based on those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You are currently about 8 leagues away. Following the wind towards the Redwine ships, you move... Move a little bit closer. They are slightly stalled. These are largely like big, heavy ships, and they're trying to stay in formation until they get to the island, so they don't move very fast at all. By now, you are 4 leagues apart.
Are there like flags that we could fly that would send the message of "fuck those guys," right? Like just, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Actually,
so there's a distinctive flag. I'm just gonna make up semaphore flags as they come along. Not gonna use a system. There's a different flag for like, we're peaceful in peacetime and we're peaceful in wartime. You're basically flying like the we're allied flag for a little while until you get like a report from Warbles on the other one, and then you take it back in so it doesn't get confusing.
Perfect. Yeah, it would be a little bit weird that we're constantly flying the "we're allies" flag, but that is completely on brand.
it is.
We just end up shooting at whoever we want.
Yep.
See what happens.
The Westmarch flotilla starts to make its way through the north part of the map. Anybody else doing actions on this turn, or are you just navigating the ship closer?
Navigating the ship closer. Making sure all our gear is prepped.
All right. The wind shifts slightly again. It shifts back to the north, so you have to shift your sails around to catch it. But it's enough that both you and the ship are able to get a similar kind of speed going at each other here. As you pass, is there anything that you want to communicate to each other? You've joined each other in formation.
Yeah, I feel like I'm walking over to Otto and I'm saying, "Hey, hey Otto, can you broadcast my voice real quick?"
Yep.
All right. Howdy there, friends.
Howdy there, friends.
Y'all here to kick some Imperial ass?
Y'all here to kick some Imperial ass?
Oh my god.
It's a little bit uneasy. These people are red wine separatists. They're a bit closer to Imperial, so it's kind of like, yeah.
How many are there? Like, does this seem like enough to defend the island, or does this seem like we're going to be doing most of the heavy lifting here?
There are 5 total red wine ships.
Okay.
There is the Watery Grave with 3 masts, the Storm Rider with 4, the Guarded Barrel with 2, the Fisher's Bodyguard with 1, and the Lighthouse Keeper with 1. You can see the rookery ships that you have, and you can see the Westmark ships as well.
Okay. Yeah, and then in terms of a sort of a rousing speech, then, I think Sun just goes, "Well, let's get to it then."
Well, let's get to it then. You hear the thunk of what are clearly like military people going, whoomp, moving back to position and getting ready for orders from their captain. Because you're clearly like the smaller ship, they start to take over and fan out over the waters.
Yes.
The wind shifts slightly.
We are small and frail. You must protect
Yes.
us while we fight for you. Yes.
The wind shifts to the northeast. It slows the flotilla a little, but to catch it, they start moving towards the north side, getting ready to go directly towards the port. That would be based on slowest. The rookery ships, since they see that they're a little bit outnumbered, they don't quite move away, but they catch part of the wind to move towards the far side of the island. The red wine flotilla moves with the wind and moves at full speed and starts to fan out in formation. So that would be... Which way do you go?
Well, we can kind of take 3 approaches here. We could try and be the fast, speedy spearhead and kind of distract them while our friends bring up the rear. Terrible idea. We could follow along, just kind of join in formation at the end there, like a little kid joining in. Or we could play a cleanup crew and wait for a ship to take some damage and then speed in and blast it to smithereens while its defenses are weakened and then zip off to the next one.
Bad idea too. First one, terrible idea. Second two, I'm okay with that.
What if we tried to get past the enemy line, and then once the fighting starts, we turn them out and blast them from behind?
All right, I like that plan.
I mean, we could also just hang back and let the bigger ships take the damage, and we just finish them off. I do like your other plan. Your other plan is very solid.
The wind is blowing directly at the West March flotilla. The direction that you'd be going, you're kind of going to catch them a bit earlier than the red wine. Not earlier than them, but like you're closer to the island than red wine is. They're a bit further north, and they're going to kind of close in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm partial to the idea of doing a big sweep around behind them, because then at least they'll have to, break formation to deal with us. And we have the engine. We're so fast.
I don't want to separate ourselves from our group, though.
All right, we'll hang back then and wait for them to kind of take the brunt of it and then zip in.
Our group, a bunch of red flags, and then there's just us Standing there, like, hello.
All right.
Hey.
You follow the wind, but
Hi.
tack away from it a little and reduce your sails so you stay behind the main flotilla. Let's do some turns. The wind shifts slightly again. This time, it shifts to the northeast, so it switches back to be like against the main West March flotilla. The West March flotilla is made of a good number of ships. The slow ones are starting to break and settle in, but the small ones are starting to move with the wind and kind of circle around. As the wind shifts, the larger ships are forced to like adapt to it a little. They turn and they start to slow to deliver the first barrage. Their small ones are fanning out in multiple directions, both like north and south.
So we're gonna attack the big ones, right?
I mean, we can
We're-
either attack the big ones or deal with the little ones.
We're gonna be nuisances to the big ones, right?
I
mean,
get
we
shot down.
anyone who we fight against, we can outmaneuver. I am
Yeah.
confident that our engine is able to outmaneuver that.
Yeah.
It really is just a matter of, do we want to be a mosquito buzzing around, taking little pot shots, little nibbles, or do we want to instead just fucking mow through a couple of smaller ones?
Well, I think we mow through a couple smaller ones. Stretch our sea legs a bit and then tackle some of the bigger ones once they've been
Yeah.
softened up a bit. Where's the nearest small ship?
They are all a bit too far ahead of you. You would have to move through the Redwine ships.
So maybe what we should do is wait for the small ships to move through the formation and try and turn around for another pass, and then get them as they're like turning around. You know what I'm saying?
But couldn't they then just swarm us?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can zip out of there though
Oh,
You
fair
know.
enough.
if they try that.
It's up to the captain.
You keep coming up with these crazy risky maneuvers.
Oh, well, what's your idea?
We'll call
I-
this one the Barracuda Maneuver. How about that?
Barracuda. Yeah.
Why don't we just stay with our team
All right.
and then
Who's your team?
the red wine ships?
Okay, because
That's-
they're fanning out right now, and the
Okay.
rookery ships, after having moved away, now that Redwine's caught up and the wind's shifted a little, they're closing in to rejoin their initial position, like defending the docks from any scragglers.
Okay.
All right, Captain.
Yeah.
Who are we siding with here?
We just suddenly open fire on the red wine ships. Like, what the? What? Betrayal.
If you stay where you are, it's a couple squares away, so like this is a point where you could just kind of drift, see how things pan out, and then go in when you hit an opening. So you could just drift for a turn.
Why don't we go after a smaller ship?
All right.
Like, or a ship more similar to our size.
Okay, we'll go. Yeah, we'll go for the smaller ones as
Yeah.
while they do their little roundabouts.
Get them in the crossfire. That little ship is like, oh, I'm
But
gonna
like
attack this big
from what
ship.
direction? You are like this.
Yeah.
You're the ones bringing up the rear.
Yeah. So I think what we do is wait for a smaller ship to take one of our big friends and then zoom in after them. And
Okay, so hang back for this turn.
we're hanging back for this turn. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The wind shifts slightly again. This time to the southeast, kind of back towards you. This allows the flotilla to stay in place a little bit. Their heavier ships are sticking around, but now you get a better sense of numbers. There is a horde of masts in every direction. You're not sure exactly how many small ships or large ships there are unless someone gets a battle report. Things are starting to get a little bit hectic.
I'll get a battle report.
All right.
How many small shippies do we got?
Small ships. So the count for West March ships that have shown up There is the Schooner's Doom with 5 masts that's in there. There's
5.
the Hunter with 3. And then for small ships, there's the Homeland, the Firebrand, and the Vigilant with 2, 1, and 2 respectively. There's also a group from Westmarch coming from... So currently that group is outnumbered, but there's some coming from the northeast of you, way off entering the battlefield. There you see the Righteous with 4, the Crusader with 4, and then the Pure Light and St. Ulysses with 1 each. And then far to the south, you can't get enough details, but you count a total of 12 masts.
That's a lot of ships.
It's a couple of ships.
It's
There
a
are
few.
ships.
It's a lot of ships.
Well, one handle on the escape hatch. You know,
Yeah,
we want to run. We can outrun them. Fingers crossed. Don't know how long. Don't know how far, but you can get out of immediate danger anyway.
So one of the groups of ships that was north of the Redwine fleet kind of harries the group and comes back in. You see some cannon fire exchanged. Where's my pencil? Where is my pencil? Here it is.
POV, you are Will's lost pencil.
Just looking
There
at
it
him like,
is.
I'm right here. That works.
So that's 50 damage. Okay. None of the ships seem too heavily affected. This is just the first skirmish. Some of the smaller ships are going in to pursue even after they've taken a hit to their hull, or 1 or 2 hits to their hull, or the occasional bit of grape shot through the sails. No significant wounded ships that you can see. Some of them that have taken like a bit of a grazing hit are going in to follow, but the north swath of ships is going in to defend the core Redwine fleet. The south, in response to seeing these fleets here, goes in for a maneuver, cancels, and rejoins that fleet. And then there's a launch of heavy cannon fire from both sides. Both of their larger ships start to take a little bit of damage. The Rookery team kind of float around near the island. What do you do? You're currently
Go in.
4 squares away, and the wind is against you.
Are there any ships that are any Westmarch ships that are taking advantage of their sort of wind advantage and trying to do like a turn or anything where we could catch them with their pants down?
Yep. If you go directly against the wind right now and engage the motor, you'll get an extra 2 squares, so you can do a rush right through their retreating line that went to pursue the Redwine ships.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Big ones. Big hits.
Sun is grabbing the big lever that lowers the engines and just with a big
All right.
splash.
I was gonna say, can I boon the ship turn?
It has to be something specific.
Canonier.
It has to be after the thing happens. So you start to make your way in. There's cannon fire going from most of the large dreadnought ships. The smaller ones are just trying to patrol and keep the area safe, keep themselves away from heavy cannon fire. There's some from the Schooner's Doom, some from the Watery Grave. They're similar in size, although the Schooner's Doom is a bit larger, and that one's on the Westmarch side. Still taking some hits. There's a stray cannonball from that one that makes its way towards your ship as you pass. Okay. Does anybody in particular want to keep track of ship health, or would you rather I keep track of it?
I have a
on my
pen
end?
and paper right here.
Okay. So your current ship health starts at 350.
Okay.
And it's segmented in a couple of things that have health bars, so I'll tell you when they get hit. The hull is just kind of your bulk it's most of your damage.
Yeah.
We're playing FTL now.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking the ladies.
So 42 damage to the hull. No one's
42.
injured.
Damn,
Alright.
that was a hit. Okay.
Yep.
Moving forward, you are in the mix of ships, and there's a number of ships that are taken off guard by the speed of your advance here. In terms of Westmark ships, you see the Homeland, the Firebrand, and the... Sorry, just the Homeland and the Firebrand within your reach right now. You could shoot anything. Your cannons have a large range, but I imagine you're targeting the ships that you're going right next to for like an accurate, close broadside.
Yep. And I'm running up onto the deck. I guess I'm still on the deck after activating the motor and pulling auto into manual mode and giving them what for.
All right, you make your way up after loading the initial cannonade, so Cannoneer can just fire and move into position on auto. The power is still going to the motor, so auto's just on regular manual fire mode.
Yeah.
The Homeland has 2 masts. The Firebrand has 1, both square sailed. What's everybody doing right now on the ship?
I'm making sure that Sun has a very good time.
Yeah.
Who are you shooting?
Classic. I want to shoot the person at the wheel.
All right, on the Homeland or the Firebrand? Homeland has 2, Firebrand has 1.
2.
All right, give me a roll for it.
That I can do.
Also, I'm posting image in chat, but I can describe it very well. You know that thing that you do when you have a kid and you put them on your feet and it's just like a little baby and you're like walking around and the kid's feet are on your feet? That's how Sun sees shooting auto in manual mode.
Except
Here, let me aim you at the fun targets now.
Yeah.
yeah, it's trying to do some dances while the kid's on your feet, except the kid is like a professional dancer. And you just watch Dancing with the Stars once.
Yes, but this is how Sun sees it.
Yeah.
So, where are you firing?
Okay, so I'm
Me.
shooting me.
Oh, yeah.
Both.
Where
What's
are you
the
firing?
what's the damage result? And then I
Okay,
need it
so
from Gabe as well.
I forget this every time. So it's value times 2, then plus 50. Not plus 50, then times 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do miss those days though of just
Do miss
heads
those
exploding
days.
like grapes.
Okay, so that's the 88.
Damn.
88.
Yeah.
You get a really strong hit in, enough that the person there is still going, but they're being escorted off and someone else is taking the wheel. They must have a medic on board that ship because you see them taking the wounded crew member below decks. The ship...
Is that a war crime?
Yes. Surely it must be.
This will work.
It is a war crime, and you use sniper for the bonus.
That's true. Okay.
Is there a war crime benefit?
War crime benefit.
Sun, what's your damage?
You get plus 10 anytime you do a
Now,
war crime.
I will say it's only a war crime if he has a clear insignia that labels him a medic. Yeah, I am aiming below the waterline. Just chung 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 chung.
All right, hull damage.
Yeah, and that is 52. 46
Alright.
plus 10 times 2, baby.
So 52, you said?
Yeah.
You get a couple of good hits, and you see the kind of ploof of your bullets impacting. As the ship rises up out of the waves a little bit, you can see some openings. You've dealt some damage.
Perfect.
Cannoneer fires a shot.
It's booned.
Right, no, I'm not rolling it because it's boon, so... That makes that. Following the heavy fire on the homeland, Kennedy focuses as well. It takes some reasonable damage. I love it when you accidentally roll a number that conveniently makes the numbers a lot nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Some things like
It's the best.
random other number that isn't real, like 446, and it turns into like 400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, the wind shifts slightly. Instead of going to the southeast, it shifts southward, back towards the island. The West March flotilla is staying in place and tightening formation. The Redwine flotilla is doing the same. You're a bit northward of it. To flank, the West March flotilla moves southward and starts to close in, like one of their other sections from the north. The ones coming in from the bottom of the map, the West March ships are delayed. And for a brief moment, you see other ships coming from the west.
Damn.
One of them sends up a flare.
Oh.
Do we like flares? Do we trust flares?
What do you reckon, Bill G? Is that a good flare or a bad flare?
It's a flare.
What? I mean...
Can I Omen Watcher that flare's intention towards us?
You have a good feeling about this.
It's a good flare. Good flare, everybody. Good flare.
Oh, you can't even see the flare.
It's a good flare. It was nice and bright and hopeful. It is a flare of hope.
All right. You know,
there's nothing that we can do. We're kind of in the middle of something right now. We can't do anything about that flare.
Oh, right.
So you guys are in the middle of the skirmish. You're pursuing the homeland, which is closing in to the bulk of this mast around the schooner's doom. The Redwine ships are all in a cluster. There's West March ships coming in behind them to flank. The wind is bringing you back southward towards the island. To the far south, there's some West March ships, and to the west, there's West March ships. Where are we going? What are we doing? We're still within cannon range for everything that's part of the West March fleet.
I mean, I say we focus them down, right? One ship that's out of the fight can't shoot cannonballs at us. Two wounded ships both can.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Would we have to chase him? I guess we'd have to chase him way out of position to finish him off, though, eh?
Probably. If you go directly in, you might have to just make a quick skirt and get out before they shred you to pieces. You could, go kind of northwest to west, skirt around the far side to the north, or you could just fire a couple of pot shots and turn around and rejoin the Redwine block.
Yeah, let's just shoot some shots and rejoin.
Or you could make a distant pass if you go back through the cannon fire and towards the island as well.
What I'm gonna do? Remember how I built that grenade launcher for Otto?
Mm-hmm.
I want to just lob a grenade directly at their steering column if I can manage it.
All right. Want to give me a roll for that?
Yeah.
And what kind of grenade is this? What does it do? How's it work?
I mean, would you let me say it's incendiary?
Did you make it?
I mean, I think it just shoots like a normal cannonball, normally. Like one of Otto's little things.
Sure, cannonballs?
Well, like a cannonball shaped thing that explodes. A grenade.
It's like a t-shirt launcher,
Like a grenade. Yeah.
Alright, if it's not, because you've had the entire campaign to do this, I'm going to say if you're not taking it out of your inventory, you don't have it. I think the grenade launcher was for the handheld weapons, like the shotgun and stuff like that.
Yeah, I moved it. I mean, I built one for, I took the one off my shotgun and put it on Otto.
Okay, so in that case, it has to be a specific grenade. Otherwise, you've got the standard cannon, or you can have a shot shell kind of thing coming out.
I can't put one of the grenades that I stole from the munitions place and put it in there.
That is an actual item out of your inventory. You can use that, yes.
Yay! Okay, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, give me a roll for the damage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he kept a bunch
I haven't used
of
it for
those.
anything. Yeah. These are plus 10.
We
Okay,
only had to give some of them to the clown folk.
Yeah, that is a 52 again, weirdly.
52 against the Homelander on the steering column.
Yeah, just
For
like
the
a
first
little.
sniper shot and the second, like, grenade shot, the Homeland is kind of just, like, drifting, and the other ships are coming in to try and defend it. They haven't arrived in
Alright.
time, though, because they can't move that quickly.
Nice. All right. Well, I don't know. I guess they're at a disadvantage now. Let's turn around.
Yeah.
Alright. As you're turning back to rejoin the fleet, there's a shot from Kenanye. That's...
Also,
That's a
why?
42. Some more shots into their hull. What were you saying?
A picture of a child in our chat.
I was explaining how Sun shoots
How
Otto.
Sun views his relationship with Otto when he's firing him as a gun.
Yeah.
Here we go. Fire the gun. All right, now let's go over here. Fire the gun.
Yeah.
Worth noting that Otto is a sentient robot with machine gun arms.
Yeah, but he's sleepy. He doesn't have any power. He's sleepy.
Yeah, and who's not giving him the power? Huh? You control freak?
Yeah.
Let your Otto go.
Okay. Don't threaten me with a good time. You'll kill us all.
There's
If you ordered him to, he would.
Yeah.
There's cannon fire coming from the, like, larger West March fleet here. The first one that came in. The one that's behind you is a bit too far. It's still closing into cannon range, but it's getting really fucking close. So the main host first fires a 44 at your hull.
Okay.
Their flavor is a shot at your masts for 10. So take it from your total health pool, but write down that it's in your mast because an additional shot might take it down. Your mast has taken... What did I just roll?
Do we still have our turns? Like, can I take another turn then?
Yep.
I'll hex
38 damage to the hull.
I'll hex
Your
the
hex...
cannoner.
Alright. The next shot that comes out of you is hexed for 22 hull damage.
Okay.
There's one last one that comes at you for...
Man, that really does not reduce the damage a whole lot.
No.
Damn.
And then 18 more hull damage.
Then again, I guess it would be a little bit unfair if someone fired a cannon at me and I hexed them, and I only took, like, maximum 14 damage.
Gabe, are you writing this down?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm writing it down. I'm doing math. Oh, right.
Okay.
Friends.
Rutger heals not the mast, but the hull by... by 21.
Oh, shit. We could do that? That's good to know.
It's like Sea of Thieves. You go down, you take a board, and you go whack, whack, whack.
Quack, quack, quack. Jamaggio.
Give the
242
boat a health potion.
with the niche Wolfpack references for this chat.
Yes.
So what's the ship's health at right now out of 350?
Out of 208.
Okay, so it's taking some hits. There's some water getting in. The bilge is filling up pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Bilgewater living up to his name.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else taking a turn action before the wind shifts and ships move again?
We're kind of retreating, so Yeah, I'm gonna run downstairs and start helping reload the apparatus and repair the ship. So
All right.
apparatus first.
Yeah, you go in. I'll say it's like you quickly check because it's part of your duties as your
Yep.
ship thing, and then do you want to make? This would consume your turn, but do you want to make a brawn roll to repair the ship,
Oh,
or do
baby.
you have a skill that you prefer?
Aside from brawn, no, thank you.
You would say
Uh,
like a weapons roll?
4d6 plus 10. Yeah, that's a 29, baby.
You know, a
All right.
ship is a lot like a bullet.
You
How
know,
would
a
I
ship is a
repair a
lot.
bullet?
The ship hull is healed by 29.
Yeehaw.
The wind, which was going south, shifts to the southeast again, which conveniently is your most easy angle of flight. You just have to make sure that you beat the West March ships.
Yep.
As it happens, the other West March ships are kind of using that wind to close in a little bit. They are trying to get within cannon range, so they move a little bit to your southeast right now.
I should probably zoom off.
Else. It's going that way. They move slightly closer.
And zoom in the other direction.
I mean, I am below deck, hammering nails into boards. If you want to activate the engine, be my guest.
All you have to do is plug it in now that Sun's told you
Yeah.
how. You do it for your
Yeah.
crossbow too.
Yeah.
So which way we heading?
See the situation.
Battle report.
Okay, battle report.
Battle report.
God.
So the location of your enemies is to the west of you in cannon range and to the southeast of you in cannon range. You are surrounded by allies, the bulk of the Redwine fleet. To the southwest of you is the island and the Rookery fleet, which are holding in front of the docks. To the very distant southeast is the West March fleet, far enough that you could kind of flee in that direction and then maneuver before they get there. But they're not quite at the edge. They're a bit closer than the edge. To the far, far west, after sending the flare, whatever ship sent the flare isn't intervening quite yet. They're waiting for a response before they intervene. That's the situation.
If we
know
go
what response would be?
northwest, could we get out of cannon range of the ship that's to the southeast of us?
Yes, and it would
focus
keep
on the
you
west.
in cannon range of the fleet, kind of closing and pushing them down north.
Yeah. Which puts us
All right.
closer to the flare ship too. Do we have flares? Could we send another flare?
I can send up a
Okay.
flare quite easily.
Mhm.
I'm literally a flare.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe send up a flare.
Uh,
Let them know, like, hey, how's it going?
first, can I roll, like, I don't know, social understand to know what the flare means? Like,
Yeah,
what,
go for it.
What sort of, like, response is expected for them to come to our aid? Oof. Okay. That's an 11.
11. They are signaling one of their own ships. Flares are for they're for immediate response. So if they're seeing this and they're not in danger, they're waiting for another ship to come.
Okay, so we don't need to send up a flare.
They're just hanging out. They're just
They're
chilling.
just
Okay.
waiting
The
for
engine is still
reinforcements.
engaged, so even against the wind, you can move all the way out to be directly north of the West March fleet if you wanted. But if you go any further north, you'll lose sight of the island.
Okay. I want to be still in cannon range of that ship that was west of us, so that we can focus on that ship.
Okay.
Do we
And what do you-
head south at all to help out the island? Because, like, there's the West March approaching from the south, right?
That's not our problem.
Alright.
All right. You know, in a way, we're helping out the island in a roundabout way by clearing this ship out.
Yeah, we're helping out in a roundabout way by destroying these ships.
You still have a line on the Homelander, but the rest of this core group is still there, slowly taking damage.
Yeah. to be
Homelander.
expected.
Homelander. All right.
Execute them.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm leaving that up to Khan and Ye, because on my next turn I am repairing the ship like more because I being able to do that is incredible.
all right. If you're doing that for your entire turn, do you want to do that for your ship action and your action? Do two
Yes,
rolls?
I would love to do this.
All right. What's everybody else
Ron's really
doing?
good. I want to shoot somebody on that ship.
All right. They have been sitting there in the water trying to get their bearings. They're keeping away from, like, nobody specifically wants to take the wheel because they don't want to be the ones getting shelled. So right now they're loosening the sails and they're moving to the cannons to try and hold up the defense. Some of them are below decks.
Cannon. I'm gonna shoot some person out of cannon. Is there wait, is this the same ship with the medic?
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I mean, they all have medics, surely. Like,
We have Rooker.
also,
Is the medic clearly labeled and visible to me?
Below decks, not visible.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm gonna shoot somebody at the cannon.
I'm gonna use my turn to sort of scout, and instead of battle report, I want to get a like clean line of attack where like we can sort of navigate around. I would like to like assist with navigation kind of thing.
Okay, so what kind of line of attack are you looking for when you say clean?
I mean the line of attack that gets us in range for Ken and Ye to fire, but we spend as little time in their range as possible.
All right, so you send Croakwill to kind of like more or less Croakwill flies ahead of the ship, and Warbles flies ahead of the ship, and you
Same
follow
person at this
Warbles.
point.
From there, Warbles is able to just kind of like delineate the distance, and the ship follows, so you can focus on your own business. What are the results of the rolls that I've got from people?
so me fixing the ship the whole way through has gotten our ship up to 304 in terms of hull.
Ooh.
All right, your mast is still damaged, but the hull is no longer taking on water, and you just need to take a couple of buckets of bilge water and go get
In
them
that
out
case, I am asking Rutger to go up and get the mast going. I'm saying, I got it down here. You go up and get the mast. It's
All right.
I kind of gesture as best as possible, miming holding up a mast with one pair of arms and hammering with the second. Like, it's kind of hard.
He heals the mast in particular by that would make it 19.
19. Okay, so 38 minus 19 is... So there's only 19 damage on the mast, and our total is 323.
All right. There's a shot from Ken and Yi against the Homelander. Sorry, the Homeland, technically, is what it's called. Homelander's the guy from the boys. He does the...
I was gonna say we shot off the ER at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's now just Homeland.
Yeah.
Homeland.
Not bad. That's 52 from him against the Homeland.
Ooh, Cannon, yay! Fucking it up, baby.
He does not need my boons.
No.
It starts to tilt slightly, but it's still upright and starting to shoot. What was the damage against the cannon guy?
90.
90.
Oh, buddy!
Doesn't take him out entirely. You see him, like, thump down to the ground, like, skirt back against the mast and kind of clutch at his shoulder. But the cannon, which was just ready to fire, kind of, like, tilts off right as he falls off of it, and it just goes directly into the water. You're in range for something from... Actually, you're not in range for the major ships because they're fighting each other. You just get harried by the smaller ones. One for...
Come at us.
That would make it 32 damage to the hull. And this doesn't count against it. Like, this is just hull damage, but with extra flavor. They attempt to hit your engine. It's still working perfectly fine. There's no damage, but superficially, they deal 16 damage.
Oh, those bastards.
The wind shifts slightly again. Is anybody else making turns before I shift it again?
Nope.
All right. It was going directly to the south. It shifts to the northeast, so blowing away from the fight and kind of back towards where you are and where the Redwine fleet is. The West March fleet is staying in place. You can see the Rookery fleet, like they're evidently like circling around trying to make sure they're not in range because they don't want to whittle their forces down, but they're ready to engage if need be, it looks like. You can see that they're making sure to show their flank to the ships getting ready to fire. Slow kind of back and forth. The West March ships caught off guard by the wind kind of moving against them, kind of stall in the water. They're firing on Redwine. The other ones are firing on Redwine. The ones coming from the south get a significant amount of wind.
All right, well...
They're now southeast of the island, a good distance away. They're like a turn or two away from cannon range. And the ones that are now reuniting are getting closer, and you can see them a bit more clearly. There's several Freedlands ships that are coming in to assist. One of them is very large. Has 7 masts, it looks like. But
man.
so does one of them coming from the southeast.
Oh, shit.
We got fucking Star Destroyers, and we're sitting here in our goddamn TIE Fighter here.
Yeah.
Why are we the TIE Fighter? I smell a tuna maneuver.
There is no way that we pull off a tuna maneuver in
Why
the
not?
middle of a battlefield.
They'll all be distracted.
The ship, well, there's nobody on it.
Meanwhile, Sun's riding on a tuna over, and a stray cannonball just eliminates the tuna. And Sun's just left there going, what do?
Oh, God.
Just sitting there on a headless tuna 30 meters underwater.
Yeah.
With like 7 pounds of C4 just ready to go.
Could you imagine you're holding the barrel and there's a scrape along it?
Now I'll learn this little maneuver from Demo Man, Team Fortress 2.
Alright, so
Bluey!
which way are you going now? Wind's going northeast. You are north of the West March fleet, north of the island, north of everything. You're on the north edge of the map.
I think we go south, but
Yeah, south is right at the fleet.
yeah, I don't really want to be doing that. Is there any...
If we head southwest, we're somewhat joining up with the Freedlands.
Yeah. Is there any ships that seem...
Chelsea, you shouted, but I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry, are they even on our team?
I'm confident they're on our side.
Yeah, no, the Freedlands never had nobody do them any. The Freedlands are full of good, honest folk, you know.
If anyone is going to be against everyone here and having, like, rulers, like imperial rulers, it's the Freedlands. They're definitely against it.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, with the aid of the motor that's still hooked up, you move outside of cannon range of the West March fleet. The Redwine fleet is getting hammered pretty hard right now, but they're still kicking.
I love that Will specifically designed the Torgs to be like the anti-orc, you know? And then I play a Torg, and arguably the most famous Torg, and I said that right the hell back. Luckily, it's a human in the books, but like, man.
Yeah, you sold your life rights, and they were like, okay, we're going to make you a human. We're going to call you, what was it, something Sword Gun?
Yeah, the Sword Gun Chronicles.
And you already got paid, so good luck on the royalties, buddy.
Yep. I just love the idea of like, oh yeah, Freedlands, yeah, if Mongrel's anything to go by, they're just here for fun. That's their
Just
whole
here to go
race.
patoink with sword guns.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you ended up using till like late in the campaign. They were just your normal
No.
guns most of the time.
It's my normal gun.
Fucking
You bought one sword gun from one guy at one market.
Yep. And the Ghost Rider is like, damn though, that kicks ass. Gun and sword. Hell
Meanwhile, this
yeah.
entire time I'm picturing as the seven-masted Freeland ship comes up, we just see a red Torg in the crow's nest wearing a t-shirt that says Strawberry Jan of the Strawberry Clan, screaming about how it's their right to live in their sovereign land.
Oh man.
The
That
wind
wasn't even
holds...
us, was it? That was previous campaign.
No, that was
us.
this one.
That was
That was
us.
us.
That was
That's
us?
how I came up with Wagon Inspector.
Oh, right. The
You're
Wagon
right.
Inspector. Okay.
Yeah, Strawberry Jan of the Strawberry Clan was how we got the senior Wagon Inspector, and the reason why I make every single fake ID we have ever needed since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we tried to get them off the road.
We just wanted them to move.
Yeah. Oh man. We need to get like a royalty involved.
Yeah. Alright, well, I say that we circle back around. That other ship is pretty crippled, it looks like. They took on a lot of water. They're starting to list.
They'll be out of commission for a while, probably.
They'll be out of commission for a while. The rest of the fleet's going to be trying to defend them. That puts them on the off foot. Is there any of our ships that look... Any friendly ships that look particularly damaged that look like they could use a hand?
A lot of the ones in the central Redwine fleet, but the rest of them are looking perfectly fine.
Okay.
So the wind holds to the northwest. You're getting close to the Freedlands fleet, which is staying with the slowest ships. It's getting a bit closer. It's still west of the fighting, well out of cannon range. Now that they're approaching and you've opened it a little bit, the West March First Fleet is getting a bit more distance, but it just kind of drifts a bit further. I should also say there is like gathering cloud. It's really difficult to see like exactly what ship is wounded, how much inside or outside, but you definitely saw that the Redwine fleet has some wounded ships.
Classic. Fog.
Fucking
The
fog ship. How dare you?
the second West March fleet that came in from the north is kind of skirting around. They're kind of shifting between the Redwine fleet and the island towards the Rookery ships. And the last West March fleet is closing fast with the aid of the wind.
Well, looks like our Rookery friends are a little outnumbered there.
Yeah, should we go help those guys out?
Let's say we go help them out.
Okay.
The fog might serve us really well in that.
Fog of war.
Alright, well... Okay, so they're approaching the island. They're gonna be there, like, next turn, eh?
Which group?
Oh, sorry, the group that's approaching the island where the Rookery ships are.
They will be there next turn, yeah. They're almost within cannon range.
Okay, yeah, let's speed off after them and try and sort of flank them. So try and arrive at them as they arrive at the Rookery ships, you know?
Zippity
Alright.
stop zoop.
So you're moving against the wind, but again, you've got the engine pouring a lot of output. Do you join their fleet, or do you move ahead of it? You have just enough that you could move within cannon range and get kind of like a surprise rush round on that fleet.
Like, my thought is, right as they're sort of like, you know, prepare the cannons, we're going to do a broadside on these Rooker ships, we show up behind them, you know?
Okay, so
Like,
you want to
oh.
pull into the cloud.
Yeah, basically. Like, oh shit, they are on top of us. We were planning to shoot a different ship, and now we're getting just walloped.
Surprise.
Surprise! If this was RuPaul's Drag Race, I would say Mother Tucker. But since this is since this is Twitch, I can't talk about gay people.
Gay people
What?
don't exist.
What?
Is that not a rule on Twitch?
Yeah.
Twitch bans a lot of weird stuff. I've also seen a lot of their stuff where they're just like, well, people will say stuff like the word bitch or trans
Yeah.
in an insult, so we're just gonna auto mod those out, and you have to approve them every time they come through.
Nice.
It has weird stuff. It isn't necessarily like distinctly discriminatory against queer people the way that like YouTube was really bad when it did like
Yeah.
the sexual content for a while.
That's
Twitch
what
doesn't
I'm
do it so
thinking
much.
of. Yeah, I'm thinking of YouTube.
Yeah, I remember
What's the one
that.
that Twitch is really bad for right now? It's
Supporting any streamers.
oh,
Got 'em.
that's what it is. It's like anything related to discussing like race stuff or like I-wordy stuff.
Yeah.
They ban, you know, like people who are using slurs and like engaging in discussions, but they have like the C word and the H word now, which is like, come on, really?
What's the
Really?
word?
Imagine you're walking down the road, someone drives along in a pickup and they go, and they shout slurs at you as they pass. That word. Yeah, I don't know either. It's weird they picked that one. They were like, we want to reduce harassment on this platform. And they like banned a couple of people who were using those words just like classically in a conversation, like as jokes, because they're funny.
All right. I don't know which H word you're talking about. I have a list of every single bad word that starts with H. I'm just going to start reading them.
No,
Nope.
no.
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 Okay. Imagine the diminutive word of handkerchief. You know, like I'm gonna blow my nose with my hanky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I getcha.
Yeah, or like like it's a saltine something. They ban that. Anyways, let's not talk about that. We're having a shit battle, and I don't really want it. It's more just like, ha, man, Twitch is weird, but like I don't want to be one of those channels that talks about this shit all the time.
No,
you know?
I just
It has
batched
an
that.
energy.
I just batched that Twitch doesn't support its small-time streamers at all. That's all I batched.
It doesn't.
And it really fucking doesn't. I should know. I've been a small-time streamer for 4 years and an affiliate of Twitch for 4 years. Let me tell you how much support I've ever gotten from Twitch. None.
Tell me, Ken,
shit.
do you feel affiliated?
No, I wish I wasn't. I wish I had zero affiliation with Twitch. But you know what? I can get money from them, so I'll do it.
The first word on this list is a hand job.
Nobody would yell that at you out of a car, though.
I mean, they might catcall with it, but
So you know how like I guess you don't. This list, it lists a bad word and then its meaning. So like
Yeah.
hand job is a sexual act, a hard on is an erection. Hell, its definition is heck.
Aw, heck.
I really
What?
wanted to be like, oh no, not hell. I didn't realize hell was a bad word. What's its definition? A bad place.
Hey, look, we say HE double hockey sticks in this house.
We refer to only the Dragon Ball Z version, which is Heffel, the home for infinite losers.
And yet they just called a guy Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
He is the infinitist loser.
Alright, the wind shifts slightly. We should get on track again. It is moving to the east right now. Into the fog.
Into the fog.
Into the fog, baby.
Let's fucking go.
I'm a shooter.
The West March fleet is slowed slightly. They don't want to move into the fog or towards the island, so they actually just kind of drift and don't make any progress. They're still in place, delayed. The Redwine fleet, now that they have an opening and they're seeing that there's other ships entering the fog, they're starting to move back a little bit. You can see them leave the fog cloud. And then from there, they form a bit of like a fan, like a crescent, moving south to deal with the warships coming in.
Okay.
The Westmarch ships that were above you, now that the other ships are coming in, the Freedland ships make quick progress and close, which makes the Westmarch ships balk a little bit and drift into the fog.
7 masts.
I'm gonna use my turn to heal the ship some more. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my ship action for helping find again the navigation route. But now that I feel like there's fog, it's a lot more useful to be like, all right, nope, a little bit to port, just like navigating that peak line for Canonier.
All right, so there's a couple of ways you could go from here, because you want to harry the fleet and back off, because it's still a large fleet, right?
Yeah. That's
If
the one
you,
with that's the one with
if-
the 7-masted,
yeah.
right?
The 7-mast is the last one that's a bit further, but both of them
Oh.
are kind of closing in now.
Oh, okay.
If you drift kind of southeast and then northeast a little bit to rejoin Redwine, that brings you with the wind for a very fast pass. And then you'd be able to close in wherever you wanted to in their formation. They're forming a loose crescent with their battleships in the middle.
Let's do that.
All right. And so, yeah, my ship action, and one of my turns, I was fixing up the hull, and then I ran up and, put a few nails into the mast. And our mast should be fully fixed, and we're at 343, baby, just ready for another assault.
All right. So are you guys doing that? Like you're drifting in and then shooting at them through the fog and rejoining Redwine?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Or rejoining the Rookers, I believe.
Oh, do you want to rejoin the Rookers? It would put you between the Freedlands and the Westmarch fleet. It would let you do a quick broadside.
Our captain's shaking her head no. I think we're not doing that.
You
I
want
love-
to be between the 7-masted ship and Westmarch?
Son has like a bunch of nails hanging out of his mouth. Like, oh, I guess we're not doing that then. Oh, all right.
So you guys rejoin the Westmarch or the Redwine fleet as you're able to make a pass with your guns. Want to give me some damage rolls?
Son slaps the mast and says, "We wouldn't get very far without that."
Is it a slap?
There's a shot that comes out of the ship kind of peppering this one. Is it just Canonier, or are you guys...
Well, Sun used his action for ship
Son
stuff.
Yeah.
used up all his actions.
Yeah.
I want to shoot a bitch again.
Alright. The ships that you see in this section, you see the not the Grim Reaper, you see the Righteous and the Crusader, who have 4 masts each. You also see the Vigilant, the Pure Light, and the People's Will. Those are the
Ooh.
smaller.
Which one is the closest to us?
Please say it's the People's Will. I want to sink that one.
It is. If it makes you go, ugh, then that one's closest.
Okay.
People's Will.
People's Will.
Fuck that
I want
shit.
to shoot the driver.
God, what a fucking pompous name for a ship.
When Will sets his relationship status from taken to single, now he's the people's Will.
Will is always the people's will.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I do. Right now, I'm in a passive sluttiness phase, and to be fair, COVID has made this the only option. But I was
Mhm.
picking it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a cope. It's not a cope. I'm not mad. I'm not owned. I'm not owned. I'm not shrinking
No.
into a corn cob.
No.
96.
96, not bad.
To shoot the
Beans.
driver of the people's will.
But like, it's nice to switch to like a relationship mode where you're like, I'm not really looking for anybody. I'm just like playing video games. And if you want to hang out, that's cool. But like,
Yeah.
You want to see my Animal Crossing house? Like Animal Crossing Island?
yeah.
Put a golden toilet in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I would
All
not
right,
be
what
able to
are we
resist
doing?
play. If I was playing Animal
90
Crossing, I wouldn't be able to resist putting a golden toilet and then a bunch of cameras around it.
I think you can get
Yeah.
cameras and a golden toilet. So
Yeah.
like,
You should do
Doable.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a
So
Switch?
with the
I do. It's over there.
Do
I
you
don't
have
have
Animal Crossing?
I do not have Animal Crossing.
tragic,
Yeah, the VR headset was instead of the Switch. They're about the same money, actually.
totally the same amount.
I mean,
100%. Completely super.
they
There's no
are.
dearth in prices at all. There isn't an extra zero
No,
involved.
like, legitimately, no.
Yeah, the Quest 2 actually isn't all that expensive.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
quite cheap.
It's surprisingly the one thing that has come out during like the quarantines that hasn't been like, oh, we're not able to produce enough of it, so there's a shortage, which means everyone's buying it up to like try and like scalp basically.
Hmm.
It's like the only thing that just hasn't really done
What did
anything.
you just put in the chat? What? Ew.
That's a fossil you can get in Animal Crossing. Looks like a big turd, so he used it in
Oh, the
his bathroom.
coprolite.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the viewers at home, Gabe just posted a picture of an Animal Crossing character in their bathroom with a coprolite on the floor right in front of the toilet.
Everyone, okay, you ask any geologist, they have a coprolite. I have a coprolite. Will, do you have
Yeah.
a coprolite in your apartment?
I don't, but I do have other miscellaneous fancy rocks.
Oh, fancy rocks are fine, but I do have a coprolite. One of our
Does it look like a
professors.
t-shirt?
Oh yeah. One of our professors, literally the very first day, had a box of coprolites, and then just went like, "Here, grab one, pass it to the next one." And it's like, "Cool, you all have dinosaur shit."
Yeah.
Love that shit.
And then everyone's just like, there's the obvious reactions of like, "Oh god," and then there's some people who are just like, "It's fucking stone." Like, fuck it.
Wait, but it's
All right, so 96 was it?
96. Yes.
You get a really deep shot onto the skipper of the People's Will. It slows a little and kind of catches the wind wrong, does a bit of an iffy tip, but then stabilizes as someone else goes to take over. It's enough that it gets it a little bit stray from the fleet, just enough that you can target it. With the aid of Kenenye's strike, it's starting to limp back to avoid taking too much damage before the bulk of the fighting begins.
Just pop the shot on them. They're just like, I like to think that they're like, we can fight this. Oh no, we can't.
No.
No, no. Let's not.
Alright, so that's a...
Right.
The wind shifts to the southwest. The Freedland ships have to take advantage of, or they have to be stopped by the wind anyways because it's moving against them. So they move into formation and get ready to fire, which they do once the Westmarch ships come into the location. The Rookery ships aren't leaving in too much of a rush, but they are closing a bit closer to the Freedlands fleet in order to stay secure. Moving ships. The other one starts to move in behind. There's now two of these Westmarch fleets really close together. Redwine is starting to regroup as the Westmarch fleet to the north, it doesn't seem to be engaging again. Now it's kind of just moving off towards the northwest, but not leaving the battlefield yet, just kind of haunting it outside of cannon range.
Huh. Alright.
The Crescent, especially with the small maneuverable ships as they catch the wind, it makes a big kind of whoosh motion and closes in to follow both of the Westmarch fleets. They're looking a little ragged, but they're determined.
Alright. Well, we're fresh as a daisy. Yeah,
Yeah.
you wanna...
Sure.
So they're kind of doing like a pincer maneuver, coming from behind. Do we want to help them apply pressure? Like, if we surge forward, would that kind of like... Could we double team one of these ships if we do that?
Yeah, you could follow their pincer directly south right now. In fact,
just-
if you just kind of lazily turn and fire at whoever the hell you want, you're kind of just like they're doing the pincer around you. You're at the apex, and you've got a couple of different like groups of ships in front of you in different directions.
Yeah, I'm in.
There's so many tasty options.
I mean, the ship's all fixed up. You know, Sun's going like this and getting over to Otto to lay in some pain. You know.
All right, give me some rolls.
Ding.
You are in range of the pure light, or not pure light, sorry, the People's Will, which is wounded. Otherwise, all of the remaining ships, broadly unwounded, are about to be closed in on. You can see a couple of dreadnoughts, a couple of mid-sized ships, a couple of small ones. Who are you targeting? You said something? Or you cut out?
I don't want all those ships to close in on us. What? What's happening?
No, they're being closed in on.
Okay. I understand. Got it.
Yeah, I say fire at will. You know what I'm saying? The People's
Fire-
Will, that is. That's 50 at the
Right.
People's Will.
50 at the People's Will. Kevin, you
Yeah.
focuses as well. For
The people's will.
Yeah.
Like the People's Party in Canada.
It's like the, yeah.
you
I'm not going to
rapidly-
say fire at them. That could be taken wrong.
Whoopsie.
Not the most wrong.
I mean, look. Bernier went down there and was like, hey, truckers, go ahead, clog up all the Ottawa roads for 3 weeks. Is, you know, log in eye, stick in foot. I don't know all that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't careful of the log in your eye and the stick in your second toe, the one that's kind of long like a middle finger, but it's on your foot.
If you have that specific type of foot structure.
Yeah, not everybody's second toe is longer than their big toe.
Okay, we can't talk about feet on Twitch. Let's focus.
Yo,
Damn it! I was finally about to do a feet shot. Feet reveal when, Will. Feet reveal when.
You
All right.
shred the pure light pretty relentlessly. It's still limping along. It hasn't sunk yet, and they're still like grabbing onto the cannons and trying to fight back, but they quickly start to get off of it and try to clamber onto the nearest boat.
yeah, that'll do it. You reckon she's got like? No, not worth it. There's probably like a lot of powder on that ship that's now going to get wet and spoiled.
The wind shifts again.
Are you worried about?
The wind is now going directly westward.
That's powder
valuable
that he
stuff.
could have used.
Yeah, I mean, when you blow up the powder, then you're putting it to use, you know. But if you just sink the ship, it's just waste.
Anyway.
Oh well, maybe the fish will use it. Yeah.
There's the previous tuna that we interacted with that's now wearing like a Hawaiian t-shirt.
It's like, I
Mm,
have figured out how to obtain human flesh.
that's some good ammunition right there. I could put that to good use. A little bit waterlogged now, but like I'll just put it on land, dry up for a little bit, and
Me and the tuna have a sideline going, okay?
The
Tuna
tuna
yay.
he has his own little turret, but you have to keep the powder dry. So he uses like an old like glass container, and he calls it bottle.
Alright, so
Alright.
you are surrounded by the fog of war. The cannons are going wild from a number of different fronts, and the fighting is getting really thick around the island. You can only see in your close vicinity. You can see the crescent. You can see that you're closing in. The wind is shifting west, which you've detected. The island, you know, is to the southwest, but it's the edge of your vision. You could just see the kind of horizon through the smoke. And there's a couple of fleets and the flashing of cannons coming from different locations. It looks like you're surrounding them. You're going to have to get a battle report if you want more specific information.
Battle report.
But the wind is
Yeah.
shifting west.
I'll get a battle report as my ship action this turn.
Okay, battle report. You are in the middle of a broad fog of war from the initial conflict and from the ones that are starting now. Right next to you is most of the Redwine fleet. They're pretty ragged, but the fact that they have such an advantageous position is keeping them from sinking. They've definitely lost one or two ships, but it looks like the other ones are crowded enough that they must have been able to pick up the survivors. To the direct south of you is the West March fleet with a 7-masted. To the direct southwest of you is the West March fleet with a couple of 4-masted and a couple of stragglers. To the more distant southwest is the island that you can barely see, and distantly to the west is the rookery ships. You can't see where the Freeland ships are, but you know that they're further to the west. That's as far as you can see.
All right. I mean, I'm just planning to shoot the first thing that wanders into my crosshairs at this point.
Yeah, Will, are there any of those sea monkeys, perhaps, in the ocean near us? You know the ones
Sea monkeys.
You know the ones that sort of like ambushed us last time we made port. They sort of live closer to land, but I was wondering if there were any out here.
They clamber up and they're like,
Yeah.
and try to.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
try and kidnap Dorothy.
Okay. The
Uh,
want to give me a roll for that?
okay.
They're close enough that you have to try and summon them and they'll attack next turn. There's movement happening as well. The West March ships, the one that's closest moves towards the island, and you can only presume it's moving in closer to the port. The other flanked group has nowhere else to go but in. They move to the port as well. The Redwine ships continue their crescent, slowly hinging around you as the axis. You see the conflagration of a whole bunch of cannon fire distantly to the west. They must be really hammering down on these people.
So that's a 22 for sea monkeys to sneak on board with knives in their mouth and slaughter unsuspecting ships in the fog.
All right, you've riled them up, and they're close enough within 1 or 2 squares of the island that they're willing to risk climbing onto the boat. One of them, like the one that's closest to the docks, isn't firing as fast as it should, and then you see little smaller lights as they must be fighting things on board, but they get back to their cannons pretty quickly.
It was just
What's
meant to be a
everybody-
minor nuisance.
What's everybody else up to?
Firing on the closest ship. Brap,
All right.
you know?
Right now, you're following the 7-masted as it's kind of like being closed in on. So you're trailing behind them. You can see the Grim Reaper, which is their big one, as well as the St. Ulysses and the Folk Dream, as well as the Dominion.
7 masts. But where do they keep the powder?
Everywhere. Everywhere, son. They keep it
Yeah.
everywhere.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna start firing blindly, hoping that I hit the powder room, knowing that I won't.
Jeez.
All right, so you're doing like a wide sweep, going like. Tunk, 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 tunk,
I am
across
doing
this.
a wide. I am saying. I'm telling Otto to like analyze the sounds of the impacts to see if there's any change, to see when we hit the powder room.
All right, give me a roll.
That's
I don't think that's gonna work, but that's
No.
let's hope. That's a 52.
52 from
Okay.
Otto, and a from Ken and Ye. We've got. Make it 36 from Ken and Ye.
Nice.
You lay in a couple of heavy cannon shots. Ken and Ye is just trying to get some near the middle of the ship where people are probably going to be running around. You see him launch some chain shots at their masts. You kind of go chunk, chunk, chunk across it. There's a couple of points, like midway, like there's a magazine not in the middle, but like in, if you imagine the ship in thirds, between each of the thirds, there's 2 magazine sections. As you scrape one of them, there's a bit of like a, it's not necessarily a sparking, but as you break into it, you can see like there's a whoosh, like a powder, and then as that happens, it happens to the other one as well. It doesn't ignite. It's just like spilling. But you get to capture 2 images of distinctly like a powder rush coming out of it.
Ho, 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 ho.
Put that in Otto's printer later.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Now, what do you suppose the range is on that electricity bolt?
On what electricity bolt?
Your
The
fork.
fork.
On my fork? It's how far I can throw it. And something tells me that Croquill is not going to be hitting many ships with it.
What if we put it in a cannon?
Then I might not be able to summon it back.
That's true. That's a good point.
I've never tested the range of summoning. I
All
also
right.
like that I've basically never used this fork through the entire campaign.
I know.
It's just sat in Crowquill's hip, just being like, I could use it. I could
use
use
it."
it.
Could use it.
I wonder if Jane could get a flaming crossbow bolt into the powder room.
Probably. I also have that underbarrel attachment that I never really used.
That's true.
I have a grappling hook.
You have a grappling hook. That one you
I
did
forgot
use.
that you bought a grappling hook.
I made a grappling hook.
Oh, that you made
Yeah.
a grappling hook.
Yeah.
I
Made with
forgot about
love.
that fucking grappling hook.
I used the scope of these.
Yeah.
So what's the plan? How we doing?
I think the plan is Jane launches a crossbow bolt that somehow sets fire to the powder room. We haven't quite worked out sort of the logistics of that. I know sometimes you
Dip
do
it in
like a
alcohol,
room.
light it on fire, and I'll shoot it.
Yeah.
Pray to God the wind or the water doesn't put it out.
I know. Could you use elemental to just heat it up a whole bunch? Like get it red hot.
Oh,
That still has the same problem when it meets the wind.
That's true.
You could put a
That's how
glyph
far
on
it
it.
has to go.
I could
Oh,
put a glyph on
could you
it.
put a glyph on it?
I could put a glyph on it, but I've already spent my action this turn.
Damn it.
Well, it's the start of turn anyways. The wind shifts again, now to the northeast, away from the battle and away from the island.
Oh, it's the start of turn, so you can do
I
it
could
now.
put a glyph
Yeah.
on it.
Put a
Okay.
glyph.
I'll crawl down from the crow's nest real quick. Or as quick as Croquill goes, which is a couple of steps, slip, catch, couple of steps, slip, catch, all the way down. It's
yeah.
actually very concerning watching Croquill try to climb down this.
I feel like Croquill has the beefiest arms
No.
because she catches herself for a living.
No.
Like
Croquill? I imagine Croquill as a very frail woman.
Yes.
with
Like-
really beefy arms.
No.
No, just
Real
frail.
beefy arms.
No.
Like the kind of woman you look at and you're like, she's frail.
Like how you would treat your 90-year-old grandmother. Just like, oh, okay, all right. I
Yeah.
see that you're going for the chair. I'm just gonna grab your arm. Yep. Okay, good.
Yeah,
you
but her
made it to the
arms-
chair and you didn't die.
And maybe you haven't seen my grandma's arms. Real strong. Anyway.
Alright, the wind has shifted again to the northeast. Some of the troops are moving, but they're more or less keeping their position, hammering these ships against the island itself. With all of the shelling coming from you, coming from the Freedlands, and coming from Redwine, the ones that are trapped against the island are starting to weaken. When there's a couple of cannon fire, or a couple of shots that seem to come from nowhere. The far end of the crescent is being shredded by ships you've maybe seen twice in your entire seafaring career. They're dwarven tech of some sort. It must be Westmarch based on the flag coming out, but you see them very slowly starting to sink. It takes a delay for them to fully get underwater, though.
That's sad.
Are they on our side?
No.
They fired on your
Oh,
side.
Shit.
And then they sunk
Oh,
back in
no.
with having not been fired upon.
Mhm. Well, they're
can I-
sinking.
Yeah.
What would I have to roll to? Because I surely I've seen these things or I know about these things, eh?
Yeah, these are submarines.
Wait, so they're not. Oh my goodness.
All right. Ooh.
So they're not sinking in a good way.
Yeah, they're not sinking in a good
way.
way. They're definitely not
No.
sinking in a good way.
No,
Anyway,
no.
I put a glyph on your bolt. Have fun. I'm going back up to the crow's nest.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. All right. Show me where the ammunition room is, and I'll shoot it with an arrow.
The power supply runs out of fire crystal, so you just have to superficially load it back up. One charge is expended. It's still hooked up to the motor.
Yep.
And you haven't
Can
really
I
moved.
sniper
You've just
shot
kind of
this?
been doing figure eights in the water. What were you saying, sorry?
Can I sniper shot this?
This is as snipey as sniping gets.
Okay.
This is like, if this were a video game, it would follow the arrow just to see the precision that it takes in order to hit
Yeah.
the powder.
A bit of sniper elite action.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
Sniper Elite action, but with an arrow. God, Sniper Elite with a bow would be so fun.
Fun.
Called Red Dead Redemption 2, actually.
Or
Yeah, but like a good game. Not a
How
game.
dare.
Not a game that spent half of its development time on horse testicles.
yeah,
I mean,
takes
you're
balls.
not. Man, both sides. Both sides. Chelsea, what are you gonna do to me?
I don't know. I can't say that I particularly want horse testicles in my games.
See, that's. I mean, that's not that bad.
All right, give me the sniping number.
84.
84. Does that include the glyph?
No.
Grogo?
Oh, right. I need to do that. That's elemental, right?
Mhm.
Okay. I like that I never got my elemental to full, despite it being the thing that I use probably most often.
Yeah.
I just never bothered.
No need.
Oh, and can I combine artillery with this as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
I would say, even if it doesn't necessarily fit the benefit, this is artillery. 100%.
I'm making a big boom.
Mhm.
And artillery added what to it again? I should really have written that down.
Get down,
Oh,
right down.
jeez. Let me look into the rulebook here.
Ah, jeez.
See who finds it first.
Man,
It's
nothing
definitely
quite
not
like
gonna
going, "Hey DM, can I bend the rules ever so slightly for this moment?" And the DM goes, "Of course you can." And the player goes, "What are the rules again, though?"
The rules are, specialized in AoE. When casting them, you deal 2d6 damage to all targets adjacent to the spell's damage area.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that is a 25 for blast.
25 for blast, and what's the 2d6 on the rim?
2d6 is 5.
Hell yeah, dude.
Alright. There's a burst which spreads through a part of the ship, and after the first ignition, you can see the front has started to founder and split. The masts are bending in on themselves. The other one has become wet enough and has had enough of a delay that you couldn't ignite it, but the seven-masted ship is starting to sink dramatically.
Yeah.
The core of
Ooh.
this
We somehow
fleet's
managed to accomplish
backbone
it through the
is
maneuver.
disabled.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Well,
Go team.
great work, friends. I'm gonna go downstairs and see if I can't rig up a depth charge to deal with our submersible friends.
Alright, you make your way down. You've got your satchel charge of some sort. You just need to find
Yep.
a way to weigh this down, stick a timer, or maybe you'll just, have a chemical charge that goes off after a minute or so at speed.
Yeah, like essentially what I'm planning here is a timed fuse. I am taking one of the grenades and putting it in a barrel with the satchel charge. The grenades have a timer on them, so I'm just thunk,
Yep.
throw.
One should set off the other.
Yep.
Alright, you've got it jury rigged up. I'll have you roll munitions when it goes off. For now, you're just waiting off the back of the ship. Are you going a direction? You haven't moved yet this turn, and the wind is going... which way was it going? Northeast.
So what's the situation with the ships around us right now?
I think you need a battle report from somebody.
Battle report.
Battle report.
All right. Battle report. The crescent is moving along to the east and southeast of you, but you're starting to move away from it. You're a bit more distant. The rookery ships are to the northwest of you. To the southwest of you is one of the large clusters of ships. To the distant southwest is the other one that you're kind of outside of range of. The one that's directly to the southwest is the one with the seven-masted that you just blew. The submarines are distantly to the southeast, and you think there might be one to the southwest starting to attack the Freelance fleet. The Rookers, I think I already mentioned, are to the northwest of you, but way further to the northwest, outside the edge of the fog zone, there's another wounded but still kicking West March fleet that's just haunting the northern section of sea.
Well,
The island's south.
a submarine is a terrible thing to spring a leak in. And if we can figure out where they're going to surface, they'll be easy pickings. I mean, they don't have torpedoes in this universe. They're basically just popping up, deploying a cannon, and submersing again.
That is true. They don't have torpedoes. This whole time I'm like, oh man, they're gonna get us with those torpedoes. But
Yeah, no, these are really primitive. They have to surface, then fire, and then descend again.
okay.
So
I
we
was
can
like,
either
man,
focus a fuck ton on its surfacing, or just depth charge
yeah, I
it
was-
and try and do whatever.
I was sitting here thinking, God, these torpedoes they're gonna be under that water with their radar and their
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
guided missile torpedoes.
I especially like the idea that you don't know if by radar they actually have like a proper dwarven readout radar, or they just have a bird that just occasionally goes. "Gah! Gah! Gah!"
We have.
They have a big scrying mirror.
They have a big scrying mirror.
We have a bird
Periscope
that
up, it
tells
just
us.
puts up a scrying mirror, and someone at the bottom is just like, "Yep,
Yep.
I feel a bit better about that.
Yeah, no, they're not. I mean, I knew a couple guys who served on one of those things, and you could not pay me enough.
Is it the fact that it goes underwater?
Well, that and there's only one toilet, and it's about 3 feet away from the kitchen, which is the bedroom.
Ah,
Yeah,
suddenly
One-
I'm a lot more happy about our bunk bed situation.
one bad burrito, and the whole mess hall is a war zone. It's awful.
And to think
Really
they,
gross.
they banned chemical weapons and biological weapons in the theater of war, but
They never predicted me eating a bean burrito in a submarine.
No, well the thing is, you don't want to shit. You can just let it go out into the ocean. Well, in the submarine, the air pressure is such you gotta store it.
gotta put it in your fart canister.
You gotta put it in the fart canister. Yeah, let me tell you, it gets pretty full.
Fart
wind?
canister.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
putting that there, fart canister. The wind shifts to the east. The fog of war is still deeply present around you, and it's only been broadening. The center of it is where a lot of the fighting is still going on, and the edges are where some of the fighting is starting to bloom, and you're deep in the middle of it. The rookery ships are on top of you, starting to regroup. You can see some other Westmarch ships, and you can see the edge, the closest edge to the southwest of you in cannon range of the fleet that was wounded, the one that you just killed the Seven Master on. They have a 3 and a couple of 1s, but right now they're just kind of floating. What's the plan?
well, looks like our rookery friends are off the island. So that's good. I don't know who's gonna win this, so that's bad. Maybe
No, it's fail.
we could bail, but I kind of want to take someone out as we do it, you know?
I think so we just took out a 7-masted ship.
I
There's
think we've
probably
done our
people-
part as a two-masted ship.
Well-
That's not even involved in
Yes,
this fight.
But there is like more ships around like that ship that are now leaderless, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
I
can
say we
probably-
punch a hole right through them.
Yeah. I think maybe if we focus on those ships, because I think they're the closest ones to us.
All right, you're still within cannon range. Do you stay on the edge and pepper them at a distance, or do you come close for a good, well-targeted pass? Right now, you see that there's the outline of the Dominion, the St. Ulysses, and the Folk Dream.
I mean, our ship is in ship top shape. We got all our friends behind us. Our genitals are swinging in the breeze. I think we go right up close and
Checks
give these
out
guys what
for
for.
Harambe.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Consequently, there's another ship called Harambe that we're going to be seeing.
Harambe. Yeah. Yeah, it was real sad. A 6-year-old
Well,
in
you're-
front of it.
With the wind, you don't necessarily need the motors, so you could unplug it and plug it into something else if you need to. What's your pass looking like on these ships? You
Oh,
see the 3-masted and 2 1-masted.
I'm giving them. I'm plugging it into auto, and pulling out my shotgun, loading up another grenade, ready for that pass.
3-masted.
Yeah, go for the big one.
I'm feeling ballsy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Close pass. Let's just really gun them down.
Want to
Yep.
give me some rolls? The first one you get is 1 from the ship as it sees you approach for... That's...
How close are we getting?
Spitting distance.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, yeah.
So,
So 44
I
to the hull. 4-4.
44 hull damage. Yeah, we can take that.
can I throw my
Close enough
fork?
that you could-
Am I in
Yeah.
range to throw my fork?
You should be able to, provided it lands in the right spot. Do you trust yourself to chuck it?
You know what? Yes, I do. I am going to wherever Jane is because I know Jane is going to be facing in the direction I need to throw it. So it's like 90 degrees. Like I'm going to Jane, grabbing the rail, and then just throwing straight.
All right. So let me get a roll from Jane, from Otto, from Sun separately from Otto, and I'll do one for Ken and Yi. And then I feel like the fork is going to be the last one we do.
I don't remember what the fork actually did.
I think it's elemental.
Elemental electricity, but it was like +5 or something to that roll. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
and then most of it was the mechanic of the actual object, like the retrieval thing.
Because I only wrote down in my inventory 1 salad fork.
One salad fork.
That is all I
Yeah.
wrote down.
That's all you need.
I am
What more is
so
there to
bad
life?
at keeping track of this stuff.
All right. Sun rolled a 27 to lob grenade. I think he's just honestly pulling the pin and chucking it.
All right, is this the depth charge or just a grenade that's being thrown at the ship?
Just a grenade.
All right, and you said
Yeah.
how much again?
27.
27. Okay,
And then Otto rolled a 48.
48. Not bad. So with the broadside, Kenye is focusing, just trying to get a bunch of successive hull hits. You throw the grenade and it manages to scatter people who are around the cannon area. They don't fire any off. There's one from the
Nice.
one-masted ship that aims towards where you are by the shielding for 20 damage to the hull. Jane and Croquill,
I got a
are you doing?
92.
Damn.
92.
I have not
Who are you aiming at?
Is there anybody at the wheel?
There is, yeah.
That person.
All right, they're already stable, but as you fire off, nobody comes in to take charge because they're in the middle of, trying to fight people off. And the ship doesn't respond in time, it kind of just drifts a little. Crowboy?
So mine's an elemental roll, right?
Mhm.
And did it get the +5 for electrical?
Yeah, I think it's +5. Yeah.
Okay, thank God, because I rolled a 16. So that's 21. I I am so glad I have +10 in magic rolls because I rolled 2 1s and a 4.
Ooh.
A pot shot comes at you from the last of the ships that's defending this one. It's 24 to the hull.
8.
So with a grenade thrown, some shots from Otto peppering the hull from the apparatus as well. Jane having taken out the stern, and another bolt of lightning managing to like jolt someone off of the rigging and back onto the deck as they're climbing up there. Their main ship is dead in the water and they are deeply stunned, but it's just going to be a second before it's up and going. You don't notice it tilting, you don't notice it taking on significant water. It's still in really good it's still in really good condition, and it might take another pass.
Is it? I'm trying to think. So it's facing towards us. So we're at its stern now. As we go past it.
You kind of went around, right? Or did you go right through?
I thought we were going like right through, right beside it.
Okay, so you were just like port to starboard on it, going side to side. The other ships were around the edge, and now everything's astern of you.
Okay. Do any of them look like they're going to follow us?
It looks like they might, but right now it seems like they're regrouping and trying to get an angle. The fog is getting pretty dense, and you can see that there's the other flotilla, the one that has the 5-masted ship, that's still kicking kind of closer to the port. You might be able to drive it away from this position if you keep moving. Any final things before I shift the wind again?
I'm game.
I retrieve my fork.
This is shunk, and you get it back in your hand.
It's like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
The wind is moving southeast again.
I will be right back.
What? Captain, no! What will we do without you?
How are we supposed to know what to do? Anarchy! Anarchy!
Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna go down below deck and repair some of that damage. On my turn.
Alright. You clamber back below and start to heal the ship.
So it's...
Will, question.
Hmm.
How's the wildlife in the area? Like, I know I've already summoned creatures, so I can't really do that again, because that's...
No, you can do it multiple times with your ability.
Oh, okay.
Alright,
but
we're up
I'm
to
more
3.
concerned about... Can I monitor the flow of fish, so that if it seems like they're avoiding a certain area, or if, like, a school of fish, like, parts...
Okay, yeah. Want to give me a roll for that?
Okay.
You're looking for
So
submarines.
Yeah, you're looking for submarines.
I'm gonna have Warbles do that. Warbles is the radar on this one. Yeah, I'm looking for submarines. I'm using the fish to detect submarines. I just want to see if they're close by so we could brace ourselves. That is a 19.
There's 2 directions. One is at the edge of cannon range. The other one is just beyond it. There's a gap towards the Freeland ship, close to where the Westmark ships are. There's also a couple of gaps that are to the southeast of you off to the side of the island. They've resurfaced, and you notice them peppering some of the ships on one side of the crescent. The part between you and the anchor of the Redwine fleet is broken open. There's heavy fire coming to and from the heavy ships, especially the heavy Freeland ship, kind of towards the north side of the island, directly to the west of you. You're in the middle of the heaviest of the fog, and you've gotten close enough to the fleet that you can see the edge of the island, but it's still pretty heavy around here.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Well,
relaying all that to the ship, especially the spots where they might be missing some fishies.
Missing some fishies.
The wind is
Like-
going southeast. Which way do you go?
Well,
I don't know where anybody
Actually-
is anymore.
what are the chances that Boru is directly related to these dwarf-born submarines?
Non-zero, but like distant.
Okay.
You would need a battle report if you want to know the precise location of things.
I was just wondering if we had any, if there was like a personal vendetta against these submarines, or if it's just dwarf tech.
I don't have a personal vendetta. I just don't want something.
I wasn't
creeping up
talking
on
about.
us.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, well, you mentioned Boru.
You're unfamiliar with these machines for that
Okay.
purpose.
I guess we both have a vendetta against Boru.
All right.
Okay, what's the plan right now?
I think I think the plan right now is we go where our forces are the weakest and try and turn that tide, and then skedaddle out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, sure.
Okay, but you don't know where that is precisely.
No. I spent all my turns fixing the ship. So someone else will have to do a battle report.
I'll do a battle report.
All right. You are on top of the scraggled but still kicking remains of the second West March fleet. Sorry, the third, I should say. The second is sort of to the northwest of you. There's another submarine there, and then further from that is where the Freedland ship is. To the northeast are the rookery ships who are just trying to maintain their place in the water and not get too deep into it. Directly to your east is the fight between the submarines and the Redwine fleet, where they sunk some of the Redwine fleet. The island is to the southwest of you, and there's open water in a couple of directions. The edge of the fog, you can see that there's adventurer ships that seem to be targeting the submarines.
Submarines. That's our kin. That sounds like it was tailor-made for us.
Wait, so how many West March fleets are still kicking? There's the one that we're on top of that has a couple of ships left.
Yeah, that one's lost its anchor, and it's just kind of the scragglers. There's
Yeah.
one to the northwest of you that's in the middle of a heavy fight with the Freedland ship, and there's one to the far northwest on the edge of battle that hasn't been involved. It's limping, it's pretty heavily damaged, but it's just staying there so that it has a naval presence because it can still float.
It wants to be intimidating.
Why don't we go
It
help
wants
the
to be scary.
Freeland ships?
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, so the wind is going southwest, and southeast, I should say, and they're to the northwest of you. So you're moving
Okay.
against the wind, and you've unplugged it. You end up right on top of where the submarine would be as you get closer.
Ooh.
I relay that to Sun.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw it over if the submarine should be under here. I mean,
The submarine sees you and fires from its surface position for 18 against the hull.
18. Pathetic.
I throw my fork at it.
Alright, want to combine the munitions and the fork?
Sure.
Alright, I'll roll my elemental.
Drop like a satchel charge on it?
Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of.
Like it's right below us, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have yet to not roll a 1 in my rolls. This is still
Well,
a decent roll. It's a 20. I'm happy with
Still
it.
stressy.
But, like, I have yet to not roll a 1 on any single one of these rolls.
So that's a 43
Insane.
total.
So what do we do?
Bluey.
So, was that 43 including my 20?
Yes.
Okay, so 43 total.
There's a surge as the charge rocks the ship and it moves off to the side, but you don't notice any distinctive bubbling. It may have handled that first shot.
Well,
It starts to descend to get out of hell, but you're right on top of it. You have a shot on it.
All right.
There is gunfire coming from, still kicking, the schooner's doom that's near you.
I recall my fork and I dry it off.
The schooner's doom deals 52 damage to hull,
Woo!
Woo!
followed by it's going to be 48 against the mast.
Okay.
It's kicking, but like there's a snap right along it, and when it catches the wind too hard, it bends a little bit. This is about to go. There's a shot
Ooh.
from Canonier.
I'm glad I'm not up there.
I mean, aren't you? Where are you?
I just descended so I could throw my fork at it.
Okay. So you like came down specifically for the fork shit, and you're like, oh god,
guess
that's
I'm
my
not going
spot.
back up there. All right.
So Canonier
Ooh.
deals a significant blow, and their larger ship starts to falter. You then get a small ship that fires on the shielding section.
All right. I'm telling Otto to focus his fire on the was it the schooner's death?
Schooner's doom.
Schooner's doom. Bow.
What's the health of the ship looking like?
Before you answer that question, 34 to the shielding.
All right, and Otto deals 54 to the schooner's doom. Sorry, that was 34 to the shielding?
Mm-hmm.
We are at half health.
Okay, the mast is at 2, and then the shield... What's the shielding at?
Oh, the shielding just took 38.
Okay, so the shielding's
38.
still holding, but it's getting shredded.
All right, as my action, I am rushing over to the mast. You know, Rutger, a little help here.
Rutger moves to help. Tiana is moving with a gun to just fire at people since she's on the deck.
Yeah, makes sense.
Rutger heals the ship by... by 19.
Hey, I heal it by 22.
And the wind shifts again. You're surrounded by ships on all sides. You're next to them on one end. It's hell. It's the middle of the fog. You see masts sticking out of the water. You see bits of splintered wood floating around. The wind shifts westward.
I don't know, friends. It's getting a little hairy. I don't know how much more the ship can take.
Yeah, I feel like we've done some good damage here today.
Do we try and get out of Dodge, or do we,
Where are the rookery ships? I'm gonna battle report the rookery ships.
Alright, battle report. You are in the middle of the fog. You're right on top of a number of Westmarch ships which are extremely heavily damaged. The schooner's doom is like one shot from sinking. The submarine that you hit is still like descending this turn, but it's about to start moving because it's almost reached the bottom of the water, but that's wounded. To the further... No, that's you. Locating. Distantly to the northwest, the Friedland ships are backing off, but they're being met by the Westmarch ships. The Friedland ships are getting ready to attack them, though, and you can see them fire off a cannonade, which starts to drive the Westmarch ships away again. To the east of you, the Redwine ships and the Rookery ships are starting to regroup. South of them, the submarines are all starting to descend, but they're being closed in on by the adventurer ships, which are starting to circle them.
Nice.
You're in the middle of a cloud, you're surrounded by wounded enemies, and it seems like your allies have an advantageous position.
Maybe we try the whole regrouping with our allies and not going off on our own. Like, we could regroup with them and then clear out these, like, weakened ships rather than trying to take on 3 weakened ships by ourselves.
Yeah,
All
why
right,
don't
sounds
we
good.
do one more shot at the scooter's doom and then regroup?
Just
You
kinda
can make a
as we
parting
go,
shot.
just kind of.
Yeah, we'll make it. Well,
Parting
Um,
shot.
So
yeah.
the wind is going. I think I said west. Was that correct? Or
Yep.
did I say something
Yep.
else?
Yeah.
West.
Okay, so you're definitely not going to regroup with the ships that are to the east of you. They're too far, even with the motor. But you can regroup with the ones to the west very easily. They're within the range of your sails.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So,
And I'm spending my other turn to heal the shippy.
all right. What's everybody else doing in the meanwhile?
Let's see. I did battle report.
Is Otto still plugged in?
Oh, Otto's still plugged in, baby.
Okay, so Otto would fire.
Yeah. Get him. Get him. That is a 58.
58. All right. That's enough to get a big crack in the hull near an opening, and you see a large section of it bust off. And then the schooner's doom starts getting a nice 45-degree turn in the masts and quickly takes on water. There's two
Yep.
remaining. Cannoneer must be
That's my
holding
boy.
the controls on either side because you see him fire a couple of pot shots at one and then a nice heavy at the other. One of the smaller ships to the side of you takes takes 44 damage and starts to back off. This group here you could probably get away from. They're heavily wounded and they're going to start to scatter. They're alone.
All right, let's regroup.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right. You close in close to. You're not quite at it. You aren't able to get close enough, but you're very close to the Freedland ships, close enough that you can start to identify them. They are still kicking. They've taken some pretty heavy hits, but in particular, their dreadnought, even though it's taken hits, is still reasonably sturdy.
Nice.
You note that it has one called the Cracked Barrel, one called the Pool Toy, and its seven-masted ship is the Lunk Ain't Sunk.
Yeah.
Hey,
Reference.
that's great.
I miss Lunk.
The wind shifts one more time. That was best. Okay. It's going back towards the southeast, back into the fog of war. Having been wounded, you can see the northward West March fleet start to finally retreat away from the battlefield. Taking advantage of the wind, the Freedland ships are closing and turning back into the core of the bay here, back into the fog cloud.
Nice.
There's distant fighting off beyond where you could reach in your turn. Currently, you are at the northwesterly edge of the fog cloud.
Well, this might be where we better do, eh, friends?
I mean, yeah. If we were to just leave in a cloud of fog, I don't think anyone would particularly notice. I mean, they might because we just regroup, but still.
Look, the ship's taking a lot of damage. I don't know how much longer I can keep patching it up. The Rookery kind of treated us like the shit on their heel. And we did more than enough by staying and defending them, taking out that seven-mast ship, taking out a couple smaller ones, weakening them.
Yeah. The only thing is, you didn't get the chance to hand out Cannoneer and Sun pamphlets to all the red wine ships.
Oh. Oh. God damn it. Hey, Otto, can you do that loudspeaker thing again?
Oh, no. We're trying to make a
This
sneaky
victory
exit.
brought to you by Cannoneer and Sons. Remember, Cannoneer and Sons. When you need enemies dead, Cannoneer and Son delivers.
Got
Yeah.
that catch a ride energy.
Can't you ride?
Well, with that opening, you're able to slip quietly away as the rest of the ships go back to do the cleanup in the middle of here. You're probably gonna have to come up with some excuse for not showing up at work, or not come up with one at all.
Yeah, maybe we
You're
sunk.
out.
You don't know.
You're out onto the sea again. I'm not gonna make you pull up the map because I'm not gonna make you travel. But as we close off this campaign for the very end, what's your next destination?
Riding off into the sun.
I was gonna say the horizon.
Yeah, I mean,
just how cheesy can we get the ending?
I mean, I hear that tall trees is nice this time of year.
Is
Where
that
is
inland?
Yeah, so it's all the way inland. You know, they got great big trees.
As it
All squirrel
happens,
folk.
there's a very broad river that goes inland up to tall trees, so you can get a large ship like a galleon couldn't get in, but one like yours could.
Yeah.
That would be to the north of you, away from Westmarch, up towards close to where like Void Bay is, close to Craghold Land, and the northern end of Midrun near Delta. Further away from the Hell is down here, further north.
I'm assuming I'm with Anne still. Like, Anne is still on our ship. She hasn't really had a chance to leave. I'm just gonna go tall trees.
Sounds as good as me. Sounds as good as anything to me.
And I'm gonna slip her 5 gold, and it's just like, sorry for the trouble.
She kind of waves it aside. She's like, no, it's fine. I got myself into this mess by signing on with you. So, what do we do on this boat?
Well, make weapons, make munitions.
I usually just kind of sit around and hang out. You got wine? We got plenty of wine. I like go into Rooker's stores because I know I've been paying for Rooker to get some nice food. And I just grab like a bottle of wine and it's just like, celebration? Celebration?
Oh, yeah.
Getting out of it alive?
Right. Oh, well. I knew we would.
Still alive.
Alright, with a
fine engineering.
Nobody even had to do a death roll.
Hey!
Had to do a death roll.
I would have
clink,
perished.
with a clink, and reassured that you've done enough to make sure that things are in your allies' favor, you take the opportunity and disappear, sailing off into the night after dinner time. A little bit of wine, it's the right time of night for it, and it's a celebration. You're headed off somewhere northward for whatever other adventure, but even if you're heading to tall trees, it'll be temporary until you get the next job, and then the next job, and then the next job.
Yep.
And while that is the end of our campaign, if you guys want to tune in next week, we will be starting up a new one. And this one, we're going to be a professional monster hunting agency.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see how that goes down, we're going to be not at twitch.tv/Croton_live, which you should be following, subbing to, and all that stuff. And if you want to see the old episodes, those are at youtube.com/Croton. Is that it, Croton? Mr. Croton?
Mr.
Is it still Mr. Croton?
Yeah,
I'm never going to get those right.
Yeah,
But the next episode's at twitch.tv/Bloodwine TTRPG. The rules to this game are at bloodwine.fandom.com, the most recent published version that's available to you guys. Any streams coming up?
One moment. I'm just bringing up the Bloodwine TTRPG thing so I can drop it in the chat. And for anyone watching this on YouTube, you will be able to find it in the description because I'm definitely linking it there as well. So what's coming up next? Oh, I was playing that audio because you were hosting me. Tomorrow we're going to be playing some more Temtem, or maybe Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain just released a new expansion, and it's honestly fantastic. That game is way better than I think a lot of people have given it credit for.
Man, Temtem has mileage. Temtem has a lot of mileage.
Temtem has a lot of mileage.
Have you seen Pokemon?
No,
the most mileage out of anything.
No, this does not compare. If you want to get deep into Temtem, you can spend hours. Like our singular playthrough of Temtem. Yeah. I will bring up the like listing of it. Let's see how many hours I've put into it.
Okay.
200 hours. I have
Oh my
spent
God.
200 hours in Temtem, grinding my Tem off
Oh my-
stream as well as whatever we do on
Like-
stream.
They call them Thames.
Yeah,
They call them Thames.
my Tems.
Um,
So that game definitely has mileage, and we're not even doing side quests. We didn't even do side quests where you need to do like specific stuff. No, we've only been doing main story, and it's taken that long. It just has. It's incredible. So be sure to tune in for that, because it's either going to be Temtem or it's going to be Risk of Rain. Either way, it's going to be fun, wacky shit with friends.
Yeah.
And then Friday, we're doing some more Mass Effect. And then Saturday, are we doing Not for Broadcast or Oblivion this week?
I think more Oblivion.
Yeah,
Not
more
for
Oblivion.
Broadcast was
Okay.
fun, but it's nice to be back to Jimmy the Swimmy and his arena adventures.
We're going to give another round to Oblivion, and then maybe we'll swap. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I do want to see the ending of Not for Broadcast. Just a little bit.
I mean, yeah. Gotta see it through.
So yeah, as always, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See you next time.
Bye.